How good?
Caught in the axe, the Kimothy.
So we obviously did quite alright in the end. Alright guys, welcome back, and yeah, we're obviously at the dive location. I've rushed on ahead and chucked all my stuff on because I'm super excited. I absolutely love scallops. I froth them, they're the best thing ever, and I cannot wait. They're my favourite thing in the ocean. So we're at our dive site. I've basically just rushed on getting changed. Mon's still getting changed, but it's looking nice and flat. We just watched a guy go out with his floating flag, and he's just gone straight off there with scuba, but he's up near the surface. I don't know what he's doing. He was kind of splashing around, swimming with his arms, which is rare to see a scuba diver swim with their arms, but he's got all his tank and everything on, so we're going to go over there, pay him a little visit, but we're pretty sure he's just given us the mark for the scallops, which is awesome for us because it saves us hunting. And yeah, we're good to go. Mon?
Yeah, I'm super excited to get some scallops because the season's been closed in New Zealand for a while. And I miss scallops so much. So yeah, keen to get out there.
So the bag limit in Tasmania is 50 scallops per person. So let's see how we go. 50 is a lot, but I don't get scallops in New South Wales, so I'm keen to grab some for the esky, freeze them up, and then take them back to Sydney, because I absolutely love scallops. And the scallops that we're going for here are just what's known as a commercial scallop, and it's 10 centimeters is legal. So the shells that we found on the beach today, they're all like 12, 13, so they're plenty legal. And yeah, we're just going to go and use our gauge, make sure they're all 10 centimeters, store them in our little dry bag, which we floating up on the surface, acting as our float, and yeah, we'll go from there. Come get wet. Alright, so we hop into the water. The temperature's a lot cooler here than it was on the previous dive because it's a bit further south in Tasmania, and you can definitely feel it, but I absolutely love it. There's something about cold water that kind of, yeah, just sets me back to when I was a kid diving in the UK. And yeah, I absolutely love it. It's nostalgic. Then we get stuck into the scallop fields, or what we think are scallop fields, quite early on, and they're just oysters.
Why are there all those weird oysters that look like scallops?
Crazy, huh?
I was like, oh, scallop. Oh, it's oyster.
Yeah, oysters everywhere.
Oysters everywhere, and some of them obviously look like oysters, but some of them look quite a lot like scallops. So as you can see, we're diving in like 5 to 7 meters at this point, and there's just oysters everywhere, which makes it incredibly difficult to kind of locate where the scallops are. I'm like, right, it's a lot easier when you're looking for scallops and there's only scallops to be seen. When you're in this kind of environment, it's a bit harder. I have a crack at this flathead, but nah, too slow. Here's the scuba diver that we were on about earlier. So I decided to creep up on a scuba diver. Interesting technique going on here. And yeah, give him a little bit of a fright. You shouldn't do that. It's a bit dangerous, but sometimes it's a bit too tempting and quite fun to just sneak up next to people, see what they're up to. But I definitely didn't anticipate this guy following me up to the surface for a little chinwag.
Oh, how much? Let's see it. I was 1 to 14.
1 to 14? No scallops.
Not much.
Not much. Crazy. Lots of oyster.
Nice.
Lots of oyster.
All the oyster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No good. Alright, enjoy.
Now we were doing 1 up, 1 down just because of boat traffic. As you can see, Mon quickly disappears. I've edited the clip so she comes up to the top and she's got scallops.
No.
I can't find any scallops.
Ah.
Here's another deceiving little, no, that's an oyster. Oyster or scallop? It's definitely a scallop. Nope, oyster. Jeez. Oyster? Yep. Scallop? Nope, oyster. Okay. Surely you're a scallop. No, you're an oyster next to scallops. Great. Honestly, this is really hard. And finally, Eagle Eyes gets me onto a queen scallop. Now here, I feel like I'm diving at like 14, 15 meters, something like that. And there's barely any scallops. They're scattered. Definitely need to push into the deeper water to get onto scallops. So I let those native oysters go. That queenie needs to be measured before I put it in the bag.
Finally.
But, yeah, stoked to get my first one.
Holy shit. I got 4 that one. 1 that is. There you go.
Got a scallop.
Awesome.
I found thousands and thousands of oysters.
Amazing.
It was a bit deeper. 'Cause
Yeah.
we started over there and there was only oysters. But now, I don't know how deep it is here. Maybe like,
13, 14.
yeah, like a 15 or something.
Yeah.
And then I saw him. Yeah,
Awesome.
one.
As you can see, it's pretty gloomy down here. The temperature's about the same on the surface, so it's not that bad. But I'm still getting caught out. Like, after diving for maybe 40 minutes, an hour, and your eyes start to dial in, I'm still getting tricked by these oysters. They are incredibly deceiving. When you got a scallop, you're like, yes. But so many of these oysters just, yeah, very frustrating diving, but also made it a bit more fun, a bit more challenging than typical scallop diving. And yeah. So I wanted to include a little length of this clip, only because it's pretty impressive, like without getting all big headed and everything. The original clip unedited from when I take my breath and dive down from the surface to when I come up to the surface and break surface and breathe again, which is 2 minutes and 38, which is a pretty good dive. So I spend over a minute down, like a minute 30 something down, and this is at like nearly 20 meters. So I fought for 12-degree water. It's a pretty good dive. Good show of the lungs. It's awesome to see that my lungs have definitely fully recovered after the lung squeeze that I had last October. So that's just brilliant, and yeah, it means that I can get multiple scallops on a dive. Happy, happy days. You can see Mon off into the gloom, going to get her scallopy goodness. You can see that there's a slight angle on Mon as she dives down. This is really hard to kind of get right when you're in really crap viz, because you can't quite tell where the bottom is. If you can't see the bottom, it's hard to go in a straight line. If you can't see the bottom, sometimes it can be hard to go straight down. As you can see, there's a big fat juicy scallop right there. There's another one. And there's another one. Finally getting more consistent with gathering of scallops and not oysters, and I definitely have to recommend the deeper waters where it's at. I'm guessing the shallower stuff has just been smashed, as you kind of expect. In scallop areas, the easy ones go first, right?
Okay. Yeah, girl. Feels deep. She gets them. I'm probably about 16, 18.
Yeah, let's see that.
You reckon it's funny? Okay.
I only got the big ones because they're just bullies.
Yeah, not really. That's a big one.
We've got a beautiful scallop. Kind of reminds me of Scotland. The size of some of these scallops are absolutely awesome. I think the biggest one that I got was 14, but that's an absolute cracker. Like, so many of these scallops are just nice and fat and really deep as well, which means that it's got lots of meat. It's not just about the width, it's about the depth. Yeah, that's where the meat is. Wicked. Another good little spot. We start to get a bit cold, and we've got a bag full of scallops, which I'm absolutely stoked with. So it looks like we'll head up to the surface after this last dive and then call it a day. I think the deepest that we dove probably would have been 20, maybe 21 at a stretch, but comfortably finding those scallops between like 16 to 18 for sure. They're just everywhere. Managed to pick one up on the way in, and that was it. And it was just getting fooled by the old oysters again, and nobody's got time for that.
There's a couple of nice ones.
Time to head back to the shore. Can't wait to eat these raw and cook them up. So I hadn't actually done an official tally of how many scallops we had caught, but I knew that it wasn't more than 50 each. So that's good. I thought we had around like 25 to 40 max.
We're back in oyster territory. Oysters everywhere. So all in all, I've not ever had freediving.
Not bad.
Not bad. Did alright. How deep we have to go from?
Oh,
Alright, so as you can tell, me and Mon had an incredibly successful dive. Mon is currently behind the camera in a turban towel and a hoodie, nice and dry. Let's get into it. I'm just going to select, let's get a good one. Big juicy scallop. So the legal is 100 mil or 10 centimeters, and these are all absolutely cracking scallops. So we'll just get this guy straight in. Oh. Man, that's good. Separate them, then you just want to slice off that muscle. Oh, straight onto my knife. Scallop sashimi before we've even started. Oh, good. We'll peel it back. We'll take that. Just bugger off that bit. No scallops go to waste at all here. That's seriously good. But this is what we all came here for. I like to use my thumb and just get my thumb underneath that main muscle of the scallop. And then just wriggle it around.
Having a chat.
Having a little chin wag. He's applauding what I'm doing. He says, yeah, that is exactly how you eat a scallop properly. Then you just peel it back and something like that. Oh, there's roe in there. We'll eat that after. And you've got this beautiful white scallop meat, and it's just it's been so long since we had scallop. The best thing in the ocean, without a shadow of a doubt. Whew. We've got 33 of these.
Do we?
I am so excited. Yeah.
Thought we had like 20.
Nah. There were quite a lot of oysters out there that meant actually taking these guys, we had to find the spot of where they were, and they were a bit deeper than we thought they were going to be. That's just all waste, so you can just yeet that back into the ocean. This is the roe. I'm just going to give it a bit of clean and some salt water. Now the roe's definitely got a way stronger taste than the scallop mussel. If you really love seafood, you will love the roe. But yeah, it is stronger, but it's so creamy and delicious. Magic. Absolutely magic. Massive thanks to Diver Mon for joining on the adventure. We're both going to get stuck into these scallops, and I'm sure we'll do a cook up once we get home, showered and sorted. But yeah, not a bad result. Right, once we got the scallops, we brought them back. We've just put them into some fresh water just to keep them nice and cold. If you can use a bit of salt water as well, it will help keep them alive a lot longer. Pop it in. Knife goes straight down the back, separating that muscle. Remove that, barely any muscle left on. And then just use your thumb to separate the foot of the muscle from the scallop, and then get in behind. That's a monstrous one. The size of that. Wowza.
Wow.
That is a good scallop. So now we're on to the queen scallop. So these are a bit different, and they don't have a flat side. They're curved on both sides of the scallop. Usually one clean and one muddy, depending which side's sand face down. Now to do these, you do them a little bit different. Everybody says don't use a sharp knife, but honestly, like, I've never had an issue with it. And you want to just come in here and just wiggle your way in until you can slice up and then give it a slight little twist. Something like that. Alright, try from the other side. Being a bit stubborn that side, so go in, break that open, just make our way in here. Jeez, save the most stubborn till last, I reckon. Right, and then you'll feel it loosen a little bit. Now you haven't won just yet, you still want to get that knife up and curve it around and cut through that muscle as quickly as you can. Cut with the front of the knife and then with the back of the knife, and kind of use a bit of a sawing motion until you get through the bulk of the muscle. Then you can just detach that, and then in here we can actually rip all of this stuff out and leave the muscle attached, which is quite nice for those that are doing something to do with presentation. So difference in shells. This is a queen scallop. You see it's got that deep purple, almost black coloured shell, and this is a commercial scallop. So two delicious eaten scallops. There's not much taste difference between them. One's just a lot easier to remove than the other. You can pop this straight into the oven with whatever you want, a bit of lemon juice and Worcestershire sauce, bacon bits, chili, tequila, however you take your scallops. Or again, I can just show you using your thumb, make a seesawing motion along the base of the scallop. Then you get to the foot. The foot will always be a little bit harder, but you can just detach the scallop meat from the shell, and that's how it's done. Delicious scallop. And obviously I'm going to eat it because of its yum. So queenie scallop. That is just so good. So now I'm just going to do some food prep, cook these up, and yeah, we're going to dine on scallops. Why not?
So we have a lovely seafood platter here. We got today these scallops, a lovely commercial scallops from the shelf. And we also found a whole bunch of these things in the water, and they are native oysters. And I haven't tried these yet because I haven't been to Tasmania. And also we have some lovely uni or sea urchin or kinna, wherever you are from. And it is so delicious. It is my favorite. And we made a pasta with it yesterday. It was so good. Tastes like the ocean. So now we're going to try the native oyster. Let's see how he tastes. Salty.
Not nice?
It's okay.
Need some wine?
Need some wine.
Oh dear. Not the best.
It's very salty. It just tastes like seawater. I like the sea urchin better.
Mon's been the poor test monkey, and she didn't like it, so she reckons it's salty. I might try to hit it with a bit of lemon squeeze. Let's go. Alright, that's the ultimate way to open a lemon without squeezing pips into it, and also it keeps fresh. You put it in the fridge like that and it stays fresh. So you don't have to go through a whole half lemon or quarter lemon. Right, you've put me off already. Fresh native Tasmanian oyster, let's go. That's delicious. It was a bit like chunky, the consistency, it wasn't that like burst of creaminess. There's definitely like It was quite solid actually, like to chew through, but super tasty. I'm not going to complain. That was really, really nice. Probably not my favourite oyster that I've ever had in my life, but I'd rate it as an oyster taste on 1 to 10, probably a 7. I mean, it's not bad. I'd eat more of them if I had more. So yeah, that's good. But for the rest of it, we're now going to get stuck into cooking these up and having some fun with scallops, which we love. So follow in. Alright, so there we have it. We've got the scallops. Ideally I wanted to do scallops with chorizo, but we couldn't get our hands on any chorizo here, so we've just kind of made do, and look, I'm not complaining in the slightest. This is going to be pretty sensational. So just buttered, salted scallops, and yeah. It was a big meaty scallop. They have always been, and they will always be, my favourite thing in the ocean. That is absolutely incredible. And then you got a bit of extra salty crunch. Not much else to say on the matter.
Trying Sam's scallops that he just cooked up now. I'm so excited to try these. I miss scallops so much. These are so incredible. And the little sausagey things go so well with the scallops. Just the best combo. But yeah.
So that's it, guys. I hope you've enjoyed. Stay tuned for the next episode. We're going diving tomorrow. Who knows what we'll get, but we've got plenty of things that we can catch, cook up, and eat. Stay wet, stay fed. Catch ya. Cheers. Anything to add?
Yeah, I was super excited to get scallops because in New Zealand the season's been banned for so long, like probably a year, I think. I don't know, I haven't been there in ages. But it's